Alright, this video tutorial we're going to quickly run through how you can use Ezigrade to pick up GPS data. Obviously you're going to need a GPS. In this example we've just got a single solution GPS and we're inside a building, so you notice the coordinates might be pretty rough, but it'll actually give you an idea of what you need to do out in the field. Obviously for real world data you're going to need an RTK to have anything useful out to use an Ezigrade. In this example we're using a Bluetooth serial port, but you can also use a serial cable with a USB to serial port converter. Anyway, the first thing, we need to open a new job, so click on File, New, we'll call it GPS Pickup 3. Alright, so we've got a blank job, nothing's in there yet. Click on GPS menu, and also on the docking bar on the left here too, there's a GPS option that's got the same buttons, which may be bigger if you're using a tablet computer out in the field. If you click on Utilities, this is a little helper thing we've put together. If you click on Port, this normally you've got to set up your serial port to the right baud rate, etc. But if you come in here, the first thing we've got, there's a thing called List Ports. If you click on that, it goes through and tells you what serial ports are available. So if you're not sure what port your computer's using, disconnect your GPS and run this and note what comps ports it finds, then start your GPS and run it again and you'll see the extra COM ports. In this case we know we're using COM port 12, so we need to set up COM port 12, and you need to set your parity flow bits baud rate to match the GPS, which we've done already. So once that's done, click OK. That should only ever need to be done once. What I suggest you do now in here, just click on Start, and it should open the GPS, and it's spitting out what the GPS is putting out. So make sure you've got some coherent ASCII data coming out of here, and look for some GGA data. In this case it's .gpgga. We can see we've got some GPA data, so that's what we need. So click on Stop and OK to close that down. And then you click on Options. In here, first thing you need to know your antenna height. So that's 4 meters. Start point number, start at 1. Now here we can pick up data at a time interval. So yeah, we leave it 2 seconds, but you could also untick that and say we want to pick up data every 10 meters or 10 feet, depending on whether the job's in feet or meters. In here our job's in feet, so it's probably worth setting to before you start collecting points. We'll say it's a time interval. As I'm sitting in an office, I'm not moving, so we'll say we want to store the collected points. That's in a CSV file. That's a backup file. In case anything goes wrong, if you have a job crash or something halfway through it, at least you've got all your data backed up. We can set to local coordinates, but we normally suggest you pick up in UTM. And here we can auto zoom the points as they come in, or auto pan. I'll just say it's auto pans. Here we can set up warnings and alarms. I'll say the number of satellites you've got, whether alarms, if you only got 4 satellites at alarms, or 6 as a warning. And there's some other alarms you can set here. So we're happy with what we've got here, so click OK. Now we're going to click Start. And what happens now, as soon as you start, it puts a bar along the bottom, and that green's the same GPS. If it was RTK, it'd say RTK. And here's a horizontal dilation of position, number of satellites. But if you went back to the options, we had an alarm if there was less than 4 satellites. So we've only got 3 at the moment, why that's red. And so there's our coordinates. UTM coordinates we're picking up. If you look on the screen there, they're the points as they're coming in every 2 seconds. So if you're driving around, we can pick up points every 2 seconds. What's handy when you're picking up points, you can set code. Say you're doing a boundary, click on code, set, and we could say B for boundary, and just say multiple codes. So all these points that are going in now will have a code of B set to them. Once you've finished picking up the boundary, you may wish to set a different code or just a null code. But yeah, Ezigrade is doing its thing and picking up the points. When it gets to the edge, it should auto pan if we can get to the edge. Let's see what happens here. So it's yeah, so that was the auto pan function we set. You can do an auto zoom if you like, but that way what's on the screen is what's happening. Now if you look on the left here, so we're down to 2 satellites, so we're still in the red. You can tell it not to pick up points if that's alarming. That was one of the options. Here, for example, I'm just letting it pick it up. As I said, we're inside a building, so. But there's some options up here. There's if you click on that icon there, we can see the GPS values as they're coming in, which are just reflected down there, but they're bigger, easier to see. I don't know what happened then. Yeah, my GPS is dropping out because we're inside. As I was saying, on the left we can see the signal strength. I've also got an option to stake out to a point. So once you've picked up your data, you can go back out in the field, for example. And so we want to stake out to point 10. And obviously when we're driving around, that's telling us the bearing and distance to that point. We've also got a cut, fill and a stake out to a line. Thank you for listening.